Swanson? Oh, there you are. Bagged the limit today. I'll put them in my locker in the coal room.
I'll take care of that for you, Lieutenant.
Well, thanks.
Lieutenant, you going back to your cabin right now, I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to wash up, hit the sack, and sleep right through breakfast. That's what a vacation's for, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anything wrong, Swanson?
No, nothing.
Good.
Nothing had happened to me. You promised.
I was working late on a brief for the Interstate Commerce Commission. It was an important case and a lucrative one, and I'd sealed myself in my office with orders to Miss Brent that I was not to be disturbed.
Mr. Maris, you have a call.
You'll have to tell them I'm tied up, and hold any other calls until I finish this brief.
But it's long distance. It's Lieutenant Weston.
Oh? All right, put him on. How's the hunting going, Lieutenant? Hold on, Lieutenant. Miss Brent, get me out on the first plane for Cedar Wells. And don't make any statements or sign anything till I get there.
Just one thing more, Herb. I didn't do it.
You don't have to tell me that.
Okay, Lieutenant.
What about the manager of the lodge?
Oh, Swanson. He seemed a little nervous, but nothing I could put my finger on.
Could he have gone another way and gotten back to your cabin before you?
No, anyway, I know hung this frame on me, Butcher Kirkle. I couldn't put it together until I placed the girl, and all the pieces fell into place quickly enough. Lois Bricken.
The girl who turned state's evidence at Kurgo's trial.
Yes, and Kurgo swore to get both her and me, and it looks like he did a good job. 2 pigeons with 1 bullet.
Oh, Kurgo was sent up for life, wasn't he?
The decision was reversed last month. The key witness for the state claimed that he perjured himself at the trial.
With a little encouragement from Kurgo's mob, no doubt.
Yes, the sheriff allowed me to make 2 calls. I checked out Kurgo with the other one. Nobody's seen or heard of him since the day after he got sprung.
How strong is the case against you?
Sheriff wouldn't tell me all of it.
Well, he'd better tell me or he's going to have a court order thrown at him.
Wait a minute, Herb. That man's a good law officer. As a matter of fact, he's handling this case just about the way I would.
14 years on the force, not a single mark against his record, not even an accusation. Is this the kind of man capable of murder?
There are no marks on my record, Mr. Maris. But there would be if I let the fact that Weston's a police officer influence the way I handle this case. You'll get the same treatment as any other prisoner, no more, no less.
Lieutenant Weston isn't the same as any other prisoner. He's innocent.
How many times do you think I've heard that, Mr. Maris?
Weston's been framed. It sticks out like a billboard. And if you can't see that, Sheriff, you're either incompetent or you've been paid to look the other way.
Take a good look at that, and then let me know if you still think it sounds like a frame. 1, it was Weston's gun that killed Lois Bricken. 2, there were no fingerprints in the cabin but his and the girl's. 3, during the Kurgo case, Weston kept a personal 24-hour guard on the girl, and he was known to have had secret meetings with her before and after the trial.
She was a material witness. Any contact he had with her was strictly routine.
Maybe, but taking her up to the hunting lodge wasn't. And there's the sworn statement of the lodge manager that she came to the lodge with Weston. Now, do you still think I'm being paid off by somebody?
I never did think so, Sheriff, and I don't now. But I had to get a look at the evidence against my client, and goading you into showing it to me was a lot faster than getting a court order.
Well, I don't know what good it's going to do you. I've seen men tried, convicted, and executed on less.
If I can discredit one piece of this, the rest of the evidence falls apart like a house of cards.
If? Where are you heading?
Back to the city on the morning flight, after I've had a little talk with Mr. Swanson.
But I told you. The sheriff took my statement.
I'm interested in something that wasn't on that statement.
Look, mister, I don't know nothing more than I told the sheriff.
You got an opinion, haven't you?
What do you mean?
I've known Lieutenant Weston for a number of years. He's been close to death quite a few times. It's part of his job as a law officer.
What's that got to do with me?
It's got everything to do with you. You're a citizen. You expect men like the lieutenant to protect you, whatever the price, to die if necessary.
What are you getting at?
Mr. Swanson, if you were in danger, Lieutenant Weston wouldn't hesitate to risk his life to help you. Wouldn't you like to see him get the same kind of break that he'd give you? Well, wouldn't you, Mr. Swanson? I'm asking your opinion.
You've got no right to come in here and shove me around. I've done my part. I've told all I know. Now, you get out of here and leave me alone.
Who told you to say that?
Nobody.
You're not telling the truth, and both of us know it. Now, why?
Get out.
All right. But I'm going to find out why. And when I do, the least you're going to end up with is a perjury charge. Think it over, Swanson. Do you want to go to jail to protect a murderer?
Hello, it's me. It's a lawyer asking questions. Listen, you've got to let me out of this thing. Please.
Mr. Merritt.
Oh, Sergeant Johnson.
How's it going with the lieutenant? I've worked under Weston for 6 years. He didn't murder anybody. And I don't need to look at the evidence to know that. If there's anything I can do to help, just name it.
Yes, get me a lead on Butcher Kurgo.
He had a wife. She left him before he was sent up. It could be she'd know something, if we can trace her.
Well, let's try. Sergeant Johnson went to work on it, running through his list of contacts. But for a while, it looked like a dead end. Kurgo's wife, Bess, seemed to have dropped even further out of sight than Kurgo himself.
Thank you very much. Mr. Maris. Change your name. Move to the east side.
I'll take it from here, Sergeant. There's no point in your sticking your neck out any further.
I'll stick it out as far as you want for Weston. You need me, Mr. Maris, just ring.
Well, what do you want?
Your husband.
Well, you're wasting your time.
Where is he?
He's dead.
I don't believe that.
It's the truth. He's dead. And as far as I'm concerned, he's been dead for the past 4 years.
Look, a man's life depends on this. I've got to find Kurgo.
Mister, I've made a new life for myself, and I'm not going to get mixed up into anything that concerns him. And as for you, you can get out. Now.
Bess? What is it, Bess?
That's Frank's mother. She doesn't know anything about him. She thinks he's out west, working on a cattle ranch. She's sick. She's very sick. She's almost blind. Please leave her alone. Please.
I can't.
This is a friend of Frank's.
Mrs. Kurgo, I understand your son Frank is working on a ranch.
He always wanted to be a cowboy. He saw all the movies. Bess, show him the letter on the dresser. If you see Frank, you tell him how proud we are of him.
Yes, Mrs. Kurgo. I'll tell him. There was no mistake. Kurgo was dead. 2 days after he was released from prison, he'd had a heart attack and was picked up off the street and taken to a charity ward. And now I had to face Lieutenant Weston with it. Lieutenant, is there anything you haven't told me?
Like what, Counselor? Oh, listen, if you've got any doubts about me, then you just turn around and walk off the case right now.
Look, about the girl. How well did you get to know this Lois Bricken?
She was a material witness and I was guiding her, period, and I mean period.
Right, all right.
Think it through, Herb. Even if I had gotten involved with the girl, even if I were capable of cold-bloodedly killing her, of all the time that I put in on the homicide squad, do you think for one moment that I would do it as stupidly as this?
I don't have any doubts about your innocence, and you know that. But we're up against a blank wall. There must be something that we've forgotten, some key that'll unlock the whole thing.
It's going to be Kurgo. Somehow he set it up. Nothing else makes sense.
No. He was in a coma for 3 weeks under an oxygen tent before he died. He was penniless. And even if he could have paid to have it set up, he had no way of knowing you were going to be in your vacation. Kurgo's a false lead anyway. You were the only one that heard him make the threat against you and the girl.
Phil Breslow had it.
Breslow?
Yeah. He used to be on the force. He was in the Kurgo pickup.
Where's he now?
I don't know. And frankly, Herb, I don't care. He was a bad cop, and I personally drove him off the force.
Graft?
No. He had a habit of taking the law into his own hands and beating up suspects till I caught him at it. I'd have gotten rid of him sooner. But I laid a trap to get evidence on him.
How'd he take it when he was thrown out, huh?
How does anybody take it when they get caught? He had it in his mind that he was a one-man crusade to get rid of anybody that he thought was crooked and that I was persecuting him.
Wonder. I think I'll have him checked out.
It doesn't make sense, Herb. He'd have to be half out of his mind to pull a thing like this, and being the next cop, he would know what the consequences would be.
I know, but the commissioner said it had to be somebody who was warped, somebody who hated you enough to risk the chair. This Breslow just might fit the picture. I'm going to ask Sergeant Johnson to run a check on Mr. Breslow.
Sheriff.
Yeah. Right. Thanks, Sergeant Johnson. Everything's square, Sheriff. Breslow was working under an assumed name as a house detective until he roughed up a con artist and his record caught up with him. He was fired nearly 2 weeks ago. Nobody's seen him since. And he was heard accusing you of hounding him.
Maybe he hated me, but to pull a frame up like this...
You're going on guesswork, Mr. Maris, not facts.
Facts? You want facts? All right. Here's one. An innocent man held on a murder charge in your jail.
Just a minute, Herb. The sheriff's right. You're jumping at it.
Look, who knew about Kurgo's threat against you and Lois Bricken? Breslow. Who had a deep-seated grudge against you? Breslow. He figured that he could frame you so it looked as though it was Kurgo's work in case anything slipped up, but he had no way of knowing that Kurgo was dead. Motive, opportunity, and a plan that fit his character makeup.
Could be, but even if it is, I still can't make a move without some kind of evidence.
Well, I'm not asking for that. If it is Breslow, he's got some kind of hold over Swanson. But Swanson's already scared, and I think I can bluff him into cracking the rest of the way.
It's too big a gamble, Herb. If it is Breslow, he's killed once and he'll kill again if he's pushed.
I know, but I've got to try it.
If you're right, I'll give you all the cooperation I can.
Thanks.
But Herb, play it safe, huh?
told you. I told you I can't tell you anything.
We know who framed Weston. We know how he did it. Now, where is he? Where's Breslow?
Leave me alone, please.
Where is he?
You don't understand, mister. I can't tell you. I can't tell you anything.
We're going to get Breslow, and when we do, you know where that's going to leave you, right in the middle. You're not going to get off with the charge of aiding and abetting. You're already an accessory before the fact, first-degree murder. What's Breslow got on you?
Nothing.
You're terrified of him. Why? All right, I'm going to have you arrested.
For what?
I'll have you pulled in on suspicion. When you're in jail, what do you think Breslow's going to start thinking?
No, he'll kill her if he thinks I spilled.
Who?
My wife. He's holding her in the back cabin, and he'll kill her if I don't do what he says. That's him. What'll I tell him?
Tell him I know everything and that you had to knock me out.
Oh, you don't know what he's like. He's crazy. He might even come down here. I've got to do what he says. I've got to!
Use your head, Swanson. Do you think he'd still be hanging around if he trusted you? What do you think's going to happen to you and your wife after you serve his purpose?
He said he'd let us go.
He can't afford to. Oh, maybe he won't shoot you. Just a little accident on one of these mountain roads.
Yeah, but if he comes down here now...
He won't. You're going to take me up to the cabin where he's holed up after I've called the sheriff.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. It's a winding road. It'll take us about 10 minutes, even pushing. All right. But be careful. Yeah, your friend Maris may have something, but I hope he isn't getting in over his head.
Breslow?
Yeah, it looks like it. Maris's plan is for us to come up to the lodge. But you may turn out to be a target, Lieutenant, so it's up to you.
Good. Let's go.
Wait a minute. You may need these, Lieutenant.
Thanks. Here they come.
Please. Please don't hurt my husband.
Up, or maybe I should shove a gate down your throat.
It's me. I got him here.
All right, come on in. But make it slow. You, over there and shut up.
You got him. You can let us go now.
I said button it. All right, now, what are you doing here? Spill it or I'll kill you right now.
Why kill me? I'm not the one who's been hounding you. It's Weston who's been doing that.
Yeah. I should have killed him when I had the chance. Except I wanted to see him burn in the chair. He deserves it for covering up for those hoods. Where is he?
Weston?
You know who I mean. What are you stalling for? What are you trying to give me?
I'm not trying to give you anything. You know it's all over. Come on, Breslow. They know you killed Lois Brickand and that you framed Weston.
You get over there and stay put.
You got 3 minutes now, Breslow.
Are you anxious to die, mister? Weston's coming? Hey, where are you going?
Just get a drink of water.
Make it quick.
Breslow! You're under arrest! This is Lieutenant Weston!
Well, Sheriff, he knows we're here.
You heard Weston out there. He's the one you want. You'd still be on the force if it hadn't been for him. You're no killer, Breslow. You're a cop. You believe in justice. That's the reason you roughed up those suspects, isn't it?
If there was only some way we could get in at it.
No, not a chance. The only thing we can do is get him outside. Breslow! You hear me? Breslow! Come on outside and get me! I guess he needs a closer look at the bait.
Junkies, bookies, hoods, they were all scared of me.
But Weston wanted to coddle him. That's the reason he got rid of you.
Yeah. Hey, Swanson.
Weston's the one you want. Let them go. You still got me.
Yeah. Go on. Get out. You're right, I still got you. You'd think you were slipping one over on me. They were no good to me at all. But you're gonna do just fine. Hey, Weston! I'm coming out! I'm gonna use you as a shield. He'll make a move for you. When he does, I get him.
Weston! Lieutenant, don't shoot! Breslow.
A piece of quick thinking, Mr. Maris, keying Breslow in the wrong direction. Only how'd you happen to know the lieutenant was over on the other side?
I didn't. But he had to be one side or the other, 50-50. In the situation I was in, it sounded like pretty good odds.
Sheriff, here's Breslow's gun.
There'll be a couple of formalities, only you're free and clear as of now.
Yes, well, the next time I decide to spend my vacation in jail, I'll stay home. I've got a jail of my own, you know. Well, Herb, this was one time, anyway, that I was pulling for you to spring your clan.
I guess I managed it because I didn't have you to contend with for once.